Welcome, curious minds. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into one of humanity's most ancient and profound questions. Who am I?
Mm,
This isn't just some philosophical puzzle, is it? It's more like a personal detective story.
that's a great way to put it.
We're going to explore a path that promises a direct answer, not through belief, but through, well, radical self-inquiry.
That's right. We're stepping into Jnana Yoga, often known as the path of knowledge.
Okay.
Our mission today is really to uncover how this demanding yet utterly direct route within Hindu philosophy guides a seeker towards ultimate liberation.
Liberation.
Yeah. And we'll unpack what knowledge truly signifies in this context. It's quite different from just, information.
How it differs, yeah, and
Yeah.
why it's seen as transformative, even salvific.
Exactly. Why it's considered salvific.
You've shared some incredible sources for this deep dive. We've got comprehensive reports on its foundations, the metaphysics of Advaita Vedanta,
Right. The core philosophy.
yeah, and even teachings from modern masters. So we'll guide you through its intricate philosophy, the practical methods, and its surprising relevance today.
Hopefully, yeah. It's contemporary relevance.
So let's dig in. So when we talk about jnana, it sounds like knowledge, obviously,
Mhm.
but our sources suggest it's far deeper than just accumulating facts. How is it different from, say, knowing, I don't know, a historical data or a scientific formula?
Yeah, it's a really crucial distinction, jnana. It does share roots with the English word know, and the Greek gnosis.
Okay.
But it points to a direct experiential realization. It's more like knowing fire by actually feeling the heat, not just by reading a description.
Oh, okay. Experiential.
Yes, it's described as a cognitive event recognized as correct and true over time, a kind of salvific knowledge that brings liberation, or moksha.
Moksha.
Its
Right.
opposite, anjana, just means ignorance. So this isn't by collecting trivia at all. It's a systematic, ancient method for investigating consciousness itself.
Investigating consciousness.
Yeah, the very ground of your being.
And the ultimate goal you mentioned is moksha liberation. What exactly are we being liberated from, and what's identified as the root cause of this feeling of being bound?
Well, the singular purpose is freedom from samsara.
The cycle.
Exactly, the cycle of birth, life, death, rebirth, which is fundamentally described as being full of suffering, or dissatisfaction at least.
Okay.
And according to Vedantic philosophy, the root cause is avidya.
Avidya.
Yeah, a profound kind of innate ignorance of one's true nature. It's important to see it as an epistemological error, like a mistake in knowing.
Not a moral failing.
Precisely. Not a sin or a moral failing, more like a fundamental mistaken identity.
Yeah.
Like believing you're just the wave and forgetting you're the ocean.
That's a powerful metaphor. By removing this veil of ignorance, then, moksha is achieved.
That's the idea.
And this liberation, it isn't just something that happens after you die, right?
Mm.
Our sources mentioned Jivan Mukta
Exactly. Yes, moksha can be experienced right here, right now.
in this life.
In this very life, as Jivan Mukti, liberation while living. A Jivan Mukta, that's the liberated sage, lives fully in the world, but is no longer bound by its ups and downs. They're free from the grip of past actions or karma and the limitations we usually feel from body and mind.
So they see things differently.
Completely. They see the world as a manifestation of the divine, experiencing this unshakable unity and peace. Liberation after the body's demise. That's called Videha Mukti.
Wow, that sounds like a radical shift in how one perceives reality.
It is.
So if this is the goal, how does one actually get started? How do you embark on this path of knowledge, the Jnana Marga?
Well, it's described as a rigorous spiritual discipline, a sadhana,
Okay.
where the mind itself becomes the primary instrument to inquire into its own nature. It's quite reflexive.
Using the mind to understand the mind, or go beyond it.
Exactly, to go beyond it. The ultimate aim is to transcend the mind, thoughts, the ego.
Right.
This involves deep self-study, swadhyaya, relentless self-questioning, profound reflection, and meditation.
This sounds intense.
It is. The whole process works to dissolve the illusion of a separate, limited self and to realize the fundamental unity of your inner being, the Atman, with the absolute reality of the universe, Brahman.
So it's a journey from who I think I am to who I truly am.
Perfectly put, yes.
Now, yoga generally means union. And our sources highlight there are various paths to this union. What are the main ones, and where does Jnana Yoga fit in?
Yeah, Hindu philosophy outlines several distinct paths. It recognizes different human temperaments, different inclinations.
Makes sense. Not one size fits all.
Exactly. The four most widely recognized are Jnana Yoga, which we're talking about for the intellect.
Right.
Bhakti Yoga for the heart, for devotion.
Okay.
Karma Yoga for action, for service.
Mm-hmm.
And Raja Yoga for mental discipline and meditation.
The four main paths.
They're often described as intertwined, like fingers on a hand. Many people blend elements. The Bhagavad Gita actually details 3, the Trimarga, but Raja Yoga is very often included as a 4th, especially thanks to Swami Vivekananda popularizing it.
Okay, so where does Jnana Yoga stand in this lineup? Is it for everyone? Or does it suit a particular type of person?
Well, that's a key point. Jnana Yoga is generally considered best suited for the intellectually inclined.
The thinkers, the analyzers.
Yes, those with sharp, analytical minds, introspective natures, and maybe a powerful will. It's seen as the most direct route to liberation, but simultaneously the most challenging, the most difficult.
Why is that? What makes it so tough?
Its difficulty really stems from its subject matter. It deals with the abstract, the formless,
Right.
the imperceptible reality called avyakta that lies beyond the senses and the ordinary thinking mind.
So it's not about feeling good or doing good deeds, primarily?
Not primarily, no. Those might be byproducts or preparations, but the core is pure, unadulterated knowing. It's very subtle work.
So for those who might prefer a different approach, maybe something more heart-focused or action-oriented, what do the other paths offer? How do they differ?
Okay, let's compare them briefly. Bhakti Yoga, the path of the heart.
Devotion.
Yes. Pure, selfless love and surrender to a personal form of the divine, and Ishta Devata. Now, a Jnani seeks to realize, I am Brahman, to dissolve duality. A Bhakta often cherishes a loving separation. They want to enjoy a relationship with the divine. It's often seen as more accessible, more emotionally fulfilling for many.
I see. And Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga contrasts with Jnana's inward focus. It's all about outward action, nishkama karma.
Action without attachment.
Exactly. Performing actions without attachment to the results, dedicating them to a higher purpose. This purifies the heart, dissolves the ego, the ahankara. It's great for active, outgoing types.
And Raja Yoga?
Raja Yoga is more systematic, almost scientific, gaining mastery over the mind.
Like Patanjali's Yoga Sutras.
Precisely. The Yoga Sutras outline the 8-limbed path, Ashtanga Yoga. It goes from ethics to postures, breath control, and culminates in deep meditation, dhyana, and absorption, samadhi. It's about training the mind to be stable and clear.
They certainly have unique characteristics, but given how distinct they sound, heart, action, intellect, mind control, do they ever intersect? Do they support each other?
That brings up a critical point. If jnana is so difficult, so abstract, how does anyone prepare for it?
Right. You can't just jump into the deep end.
Well, some might try, but the tradition suggests the other 3 paths are actually essential preparatory disciplines.
Oh, really? How so?
They cultivate the necessary qualifications for a successful and, importantly, safe practice of Jnana Yoga. Our sources confirm Jnana Yoga is greatly aided by the practice of the other 3.
Okay.
Without that foundation, the inquiry can risk just becoming mere idle speculation.
Just intellectual games?
Exactly. Or worse, it can feed a kind of spiritual egoism. Look how much I know.
I see. So how do they prepare you?
Well, Karma Yoga fosters selflessness. It helps dismantle that sense of, I am the doer. Bhakti Yoga purifies emotions like attachment and aversion by channeling them towards a divine ideal, takes the sting out of them.
Makes sense.
And Raja Yoga provides the mental discipline. It develops concentration, dharana, and tranquility, shama.
So together they create a foundation.
Yes, together they create a calm, pure, focused mind, a sattvic mind. And that clarity is absolutely necessary for the very subtle, almost surgical work of Jnana Yoga.
Ah, okay.
This explains why masters like Swami Sivananda, Swami Vivekananda, they often advocated for a synthesis of paths, especially for modern people, householders living in the world.
Right. Not just for renunciates.
Exactly.
With that foundational understanding of the paths, it feels like we're ready to dive into the philosophical map itself. Our sources point to Advaita Vedanta as the bedrock of Jnana Yoga.
Yes, absolutely.
What does Advaita actually mean, and what are its central ideas?
Advaita Vedanta literally means non-secondness or non-duality.
Non-dual.
And it provides the precise metaphysical map for the Jnani's journey. Its central tenets revolve around 3 core concepts: Brahman, Atman, and their ultimate identity.
Let's start with Brahman. Is that a personal god like we might think of in the West?
No, fundamentally different. Brahman is not a personal god in the Abrahamic sense.
Okay.
It is the ultimate, singular, indivisible reality. Think of it as unchanging, infinite, eternal, all-pervading, universal consciousness.
The source of everything.
The source, the substance, the very substratum of all existence. Advaita is radically monistic. It asserts that absolutely nothing exists separate from Brahman.
Nothing. So all this diversity we say
Is merely an appearance of this one non-dual reality, like different waves appearing on the surface of the one ocean.
Okay. And then there's Atman. How does that relate?
Atman refers to the individual self, the core of your being, often translated as soul or spirit.
Oh.
Now, in our state of ignorance, this Atman, sometimes called the jiva, the individual soul, it appears limited. It seems confined to and identified with our body-mind complex.
Right, that's how it feels.
But Advaita teaches that this perception is flawed. The true nature of the Atman is, and always has been, pure, unbounded, eternal, free.
So if you put Brahman and Atman together, what's the big revelation? What's the core message here?
This is the most crucial, the most revolutionary teaching. The absolute identity of the individual self, Atman, and the ultimate reality, Brahman.
They are one and the same.
One and the same. Atman as Brahman isn't saying a small part merges with a big whole. It's the radical assertion that the individual self was never separate in the first place.
Wow.
The perceived separation is the central illusion, the core ignorance that knowledge must pierce.
And this is captured in those famous sayings.
Exactly. The essence of the Mahavakyas, the great sayings from the Upanishads, like Tat Tvamasi, that thou art.
You are that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brahma's me, I am Brahman.
Uh-huh.
These aren't just philosophical ideas to be debated. They are truths to be directly, experientially realized. Anubhava.
Realized, not just understood.
Precisely. The entire practice of Jnana Yoga aims to awaken you to this non-difference from Brahman's blissful consciousness.
Okay, but if Atman and Brahman are truly one, why do we experience ourselves as separate? Why do we suffer? Our sources point to Maya and Avidya as the explanation.
Indeed. These twin concepts are key to understanding the appearance of duality and bondage. Think of Maya.
The illusion.
Well, more like the cosmic power, the creative power inherent in Brahman that projects the phenomenal universe. All the names and forms, Namarupa.
So Maya makes the world appear.
It makes the one, formless Brahman, appear as the manifold world we experience. Now, the world isn't absolutely unreal. It has a transactional reality, vyavaharika satta.
Real enough for daily life.
Exactly, real for practical purposes, yet ultimately illusory, mithya, because it's transient, it changes, and it conceals the permanent reality of Brahman.
Okay.
It's often described as indescribable, anarvachanya, the grand cosmic illusion, you could say.
And Avidya is related, but it's more personal. It's my ignorance.
Precisely. While Maya is the macrocosmic illusion, Avidya is its microcosmic counterpart. It's the individual's innate, beginningless ignorance of their true nature as Atman Brahman.
So it's my personal veil.
Yes. This personal veil causes that fundamental error of misidentifying with the body, the mind, the ego, ahamkara.
Right.
Avidya is said to have two powers. Avarana Shakti, the power of concealment, it veils Brahman.
Hides the reality.
And Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection. It superimposes a false dualistic world and a separate I onto reality.
So Maya provides the screen and the movie, and Avidya is like my faulty perception making me believe I'm just a character in it.
That's a good way to think about it. They are two sides of the same coin. Maya is the objective cosmic illusion wielded by Ishvara, Brahman conceived as the creator, while Avidya is the subjective individual ignorance of the jiva, the individual soul.
Okay.
Clouded by Avidya, the jiva takes Maya's transient projections as the ultimate reality. And this leads to the experience of being a separate, limited ego trapped in samsara.
So the suffering comes from the mistaken perception.
Exclusively. That's the key insight. Suffering doesn't come from Brahman, which is pure bliss, or even Maya, which is neutral like a film projection. It stems purely from the cognitive error avidya in the individual perceiver.
Which means liberation is about correcting my perception.
Exactly. Not about changing the external world.
This understanding leads to a fascinating practical method for a Jnani.
Yes.
Neti.
Yes.
Not this, not this. How can you possibly know something formless by constantly negating things? It seems counterintuitive.
It does, but it's actually quite brilliant. Since Brahman is beyond the mind and senses, Jnana Yoga uses this apophatic method, a via negativa, summed up in a neti.
A way of knowing through negation.
Precisely. Imagine trying to describe silence. You can only say what it's not. It's not noise, it's not music, it's not talking. Neti is like that for the self. It's a profound, analytical, and meditative technique. It's the primary tool of viveka, discrimination. to systematically differentiate the eternal, real self, Atman, from everything that's transient and unreal.
So you're essentially peeling away layers of identification, like an onion. I'm not this, I'm not that.
Exactly. The inquiry is a deep, sustained investigation into your own identity. You mentally dissect your experience, negating every object of perception.
Like what?
Am I this physical body? No. I am aware of the body. The body changes. I witness the change. Neti.
Okay.
Am I this mind with its thoughts and emotions? No, I am aware of them. They come and go. Neti.
Okay.
Am I these fleeting feelings? No, I am the unchanging screen upon which they play out. Neti. It systematically peels away the 5 koshas, or sheaths: physical, vital, mental, intellectual, even the sheath of bliss.
And what's the ultimate goal of all this negation? Is it just arriving at some kind of emptiness? A void?
No, not at all. It's a common misunderstanding. The objective is precisely the opposite of nihilism or a void. By discarding everything that is an object of perception, everything you can point to, describe, think about, you are inexorably led to the one thing that can never be negated.
Which is?
The ultimate subject, the silent witness, the pure awareness that is the foundation of all experience.
The perceiver itself.
Yes. When all that is not I has been eliminated, what remains is the pure I, the Atman itself. The negative process of neti hiri culminates in the most profound, positive realization. The direct, unmediated experience of your true, eternal nature.
Like removing clouds to reveal the sun that was always there?
Exactly that. Not creating the sun, just revealing it.
This path sounds incredibly rigorous, though. What kind of preparation does an aspirant need before diving into these deep inquiries? It's clearly not for the faint of heart, or maybe the unprepared mind.
It's definitely not a casual intellectual exercise, you're right. The tradition outlines what's called the Satana Chatushtaya. The fourfold qualification, or you could call them the 4 pillars of knowledge. These are considered essential prerequisites.
Why are they so important?
They basically refine your mind into a suitable instrument for this subtle work. They stabilize the mind, purify emotions, sharpen the intellect.
Okay, tell us about these 4 pillars. What do they entail?
Okay, first is viveka, discrimination.
We mentioned that with neti.
Yes, it's the foundational skill, the unwavering ability to discern between the real nitya, the eternal, unchanging Brahmanatman, and the unreal anitya, everything transient like the world, body, mind. This constant discrimination cuts through illusion.
Right. What's next?
Second, vairagya, dispassion.
Detachment.
Yes, but it's a natural consequence of viveka. If you truly see something as fleeting and ultimately unsatisfactory, you naturally become less attached to it. So detachment from worldly desires, attachments, craving for results, sensory pleasures.
Frees up the mind.
Exactly. Frees the mind from external distractions, turns it inward. Third is shat-sampat. The 6 virtues, or 6 treasures. Think of these as mental and emotional disciplines that create inner stability.
Okay, what are they?
They are shama, tranquility of mind; dhamma, control of the senses; uparati, withdrawal from distractions, something's called self-settledness; titiksha, endurance, bearing the pairs of opposites like heat-cold; pleasure-pain with equanimity; shra, deep, trusting faith, the teachings, scriptures, and the guru; and samadhana, one-pointed concentration on the spiritual ideal.
Wow, that's a comprehensive list of inner skills.
It really is. And finally, the 4th pillar, mumukshutva. The intense, burning desire for liberation from moksha. It's not just a casual wish, oh, enlightenment would be nice. No, it's described as an all-consuming yearning for freedom from samsara. This provides the unwavering will, the drive to persevere through the difficulties of the path.
So you need the intellect, the emotional stability, and the burning desire.
You really need all 4 working together.
Okay, once these qualifications are sufficiently cultivated, how does the actual practice of Jnana Yoga unfold? Is there a step-by-step methodology?
Yes, there's a very systematic 3-step process. It's rooted in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and designed to transform that abstract scriptural knowledge into direct, living realization.
Okay, what are the steps?
First is Shravana, hearing, attentive listening, yes, to the sacred truths of Vedanta, especially the Upanishads, as expounded by a qualified guru. Importantly, the guru should be both learned in scriptures, Shrotriya, and established in Brahmanishta.
Learned and realized.
Exactly. It's not just academic study. It involves active clarification of doubts to gain a precise intellectual understanding, getting the concepts straight.
Okay, Shravana. Then what?
Second is Manana, reflection.
Thinking about it.
Deep intellectual contemplation on what you've heard in Shravana. Here, you use your own reason and logic to analyze the teachings, resolve any apparent contradictions, dispel lingering doubts.
So it's moving from belief to conviction.
Precisely. It's moving from the guru says Atman is Brahman to I am logically convinced through my own reasoning that Atman must be Brahman. Ramana Maharshi likened this stage to protecting the flame of knowledge from the winds of distracting thoughts.
Okay, Shravana, Manana, and the third.
Third and culminating is Nididhyasana, meditation.
Deep meditation.
Profound, repeated, unbroken meditation on the non-dual truth, especially dwelling on the meaning of the Mahavakyas like that thou art.
So this is where it becomes experiential.
This is where the shift happens. The objective is to move from merely thinking about the truth to continuously abiding in the truth, holding an unwavering flow of thought towards the self, excluding all other thoughts.
Like focusing a lens.
A very good analogy. This intense contemplation dissolves the final subtle barrier between the knower and the known. It leads to Atma Sakshatkara, direct self-realization.
Where knowing and being merge.
Exactly. Knowing becomes being.
It's remarkable how systematic that is. Hearing, reflecting, meditating. It almost sounds like, well, like a kind of cognitive and experiential therapy arc.
It really does, doesn't it? If you connect it to that, Shravana is like the psychoeducational phase. Here's a new, healthier model of reality.
Right, understanding the theory.
Vimana is like cognitive restructuring, actively challenging and dismantling old, limiting beliefs with reason.
Working through it intellectually.
And Nididhyasana is the deep experiential integration. Shifting awareness until the new understanding isn't just a concept, but becomes your lived, unshakable reality.
More than just belief, a perceptual shift.
Absolutely.
This ancient wisdom has obviously been passed down through incredible sages. Who are some of the key figures who really shaped and clarified Jnana Yoga for different eras? How do they make it resonate?
Well, among the most influential, you absolutely have to mention Adi Shankaracharya, the great systematizer.
All right, from the 8th century.
Around then, yes. And then much more recently, in the modern era, sages like Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj.
Okay.
Each brought a unique emphasis, a unique way of presenting the core teachings.
Let's start with Adi Shankaracharya. What was his major contribution? Why is he so foundational?
Shankaracharya is arguably the single most important figure in consolidating Advaita Vedanta. He didn't invent it. The ideas are in the Upanishads. But he consolidated those non-dualistic teachings into a single, coherent, and formidable philosophical system. Through his brilliant commentaries, the Bhashyas on the core texts, the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, he firmly established Jnana Yoga as the principal and direct means for moksha. And he argued it's achieved solely through knowledge dispelling ignorance.
Knowledge alone.
Yes. His teachings often emphasize sannyasa, complete renunciation, as the ideal setting for pursuing this deep knowledge.
Okay, so fast forward to the 20th century. Ramana Maharshi. He seems to have made Jnana Yoga accessible in a new way, perhaps more personal.
How much so?
Yeah.
Ramana Maharshi, the sage of Arunachala, profoundly revitalized Jnana Yoga, often through his silent presence as much as his words.
Silence, really.
Yes, many felt the transmission happened in silence. But his central verbal teaching is Atma Vichara, self-inquiry.
Self-inquiry.
Which he advocated as the most direct and efficient path for this age. Now, the core practice he taught isn't intellectual rumination.
Like Manana.
Less about reasoning about the self and more a focused, sustained investigation into the very source of the individual I thought.
Okay, how does that inquiry work in practice for someone listening right now? What does investigating the source of the I thought actually involve doing?
The method is deceptively simple. You turn your attention inward to the feeling of I, just the bare sense of existing. When other thoughts arise, worries, plans, memories, whatever, instead of getting lost in them or trying to suppress them, you ask, to whom do these thoughts arise?
What?
The answer inevitably will be, to me.
Right.
At that exact moment, the crucial inquiry, who am I, is used. Not to get a verbal answer, but to immediately turn attention back towards the source of that I thought, back to that subjective sense of self.
Following the I back to its root.
Exactly. Ramana taught that the ego isn't some solid entity, it's just a bundle of thoughts, and the I thought is the root thought. This egoic I, he said, cannot withstand the focused light of this inquiry. As attention is held on it, it weakens, it subsides, and dissolves back into its source.
Which he identified as.
Not the brain, interestingly, but the spiritual heart, the hridaya, often described as being on the right side of the chest, the seat of consciousness.
And what happens when this false egoic I dissolves? Is it like blankness?
Quite the opposite, according to him. When this false I vanishes, the true eternal self, which was always there, shines forth spontaneously, effortlessly. Ramana described this as the experience of I, not the ego I, but a silent, continuous, self-luminous awareness of pure being.
I guy.
Yes. So it's not about gaining something new, it's realizing being what you have always been. And he stressed this inquiry should be continuous, woven into all waking hours.
Not just on the meditation cushion.
Right.
Then there's Nisargadatta Maharaj, another towering 20th century figure. What was his unique approach? How did he build on or perhaps diverge from Ramana?
Nisargadatta Maharaj is fascinating. A humble, seemingly ordinary shopkeeper in Mumbai who spoke with incredible authority and clarity.
His book, I Am That, is famous.
Extremely influential, yes. His approach, sometimes called Nisarga Yoga or natural yoga, starts with the most immediate, certain, undeniable fact of your experience. The simple sense of existence, the feeling I am before you add anything to it, I am this, I am that, just the pure feeling of being, of presence.
Okay.
This feeling, prior to any concepts or words, is the seeker's primary tool. The core practice is to focus on, meditate upon, and abide in this pure, wordless sense of I am.
Stay with the feeling of being.
Yes. Let everything else go, just remain with I am.
But you mentioned he takes it even further, beyond just I am being the final realization.
This is where his teaching gets truly radical and perhaps differs in emphasis from some other paths.
How so?
While many paths might culminate in realizing oneness with this universal consciousness, this I amness, Nisargadatta insisted that even this isn't the final truth.
Wow, okay, why not?
He taught that consciousness itself, this sense of I am, is still a phenomenon. It appears with the body's birth or shortly after, and it disappears with the body's death.
So it's time-bound.
Exactly. Because it's time-bound, dependent on the body-mind, it cannot be the ultimate timeless reality.
So it is.
The true self, which he called the absolute, or para-Brahman, is prior to consciousness. It's beyond being and non-being, beyond consciousness and unconsciousness.
Prior to the I am.
Yes. So by stabilizing in and fully understanding, even surrendering to the I am, the practitioner eventually witnesses its nature, sees its arising and setting. This leads to the ultimate realization of one's identity as the timeless, spaceless absolute.
The source from which consciousness itself springs.
The unknowable source, yes. Which is not limited by consciousness. His path is a radical deconstruction of every concept, even the concept of a self or a spiritual path, until only the unnameable absolute reality remains.
That's a fascinating trajectory.
Yeah.
From Shankaracharya's comprehensive system laying it all out.
Right, the grand structure.
To Ramana's direct inquiry into the I.
Focusing the beam.
And then Nisargadatta's radical deconstruction, even pointing beyond the I am. It really shows how this ancient wisdom keeps evolving in this expression.
It truly does. It shows perhaps an evolution in pedagogy, progressively stripping away more and more layers to reveal the unmediated core, turning awareness back upon its own source again and again.
A powerful adaptation, making its essence accessible in different ways to the modern mind.
Especially a mind open to, empirical exploration of consciousness. What is my actual experience?
So let's talk about that contemporary relevance. In our world, information overload, constant distraction, maybe a lot of existential anxiety. How is this ancient wisdom of Jnana Yoga relevant today? What's the practical takeaway for us?
Well, I think Jnana Yoga offers a profound and deeply practical relevance. It provides, first, a sophisticated psychological framework for self-understanding. Okay. And second, a direct path to alleviating the root causes of so much modern suffering. And crucially, its principles can be seamlessly integrated into a contemporary, non-monastic lifestyle.
That's key for most people.
Absolutely.
So how does it function as a psychology of liberation, as you put it? How does it address modern anxieties specifically?
Well, it compels deep, honest inquiry into your inner world. You start looking at the ego's structures, your habitual thought patterns, your emotional reactions.
Becoming more self-aware.
Exactly. It cultivates powerful self-awareness. You start to observe your reactions instead of just being swept away by them. You understand the deep-seated conditioning.
And as that happens,
as attachments and false identifications, I am my job, I am my anxiety, I am my past, start to fall away, inner wisdom naturally blossoms.
and this helps with anxiety.
Directly. Because so much contemporary angst comes from identifying with this fragile, isolated, burdened sense of self.
Right, feeling separate and vulnerable.
Jnana Yoga confronts this head-on by fundamentally questioning the validity of this separate egoic self.
Is it even real?
Is it fundamentally real? By revealing that suffering, anxiety, fear, they belong to this illusory ego, not to your true, unchanging self, it offers a definitive release.
From what?
From the fear of death, from feelings of meaninglessness, from that endless, exhausting pursuit of happiness in transient things.
Wow.
This courageous self-examination also promotes deep self-acceptance. When you see the ego's games, you stop taking them so personally, and that naturally leads to increases in empathy and compassion too.
So the benefits aren't just some far-off enlightenment goal. There are tangible psychological benefits along the way.
Absolutely. It's not just about the destination. While realization is the ultimate goal, the journey itself yields numerous psychological benefits. Practitioners consistently report reduced stress and anxiety, sharpened memory and concentration, greater emotional balance, even reports of healing mental and nervous system issues.
And you see these as natural byproducts.
Yes, natural byproducts of shifting your fundamental identity from the limited, struggling ego to the limitless, peaceful self. It changes your whole operating system.
Now, that common misconception that a deep spiritual path means giving up your life, becoming a monk or a hermit. Does Jnana Yoga demand that? Or can it really be integrated into a busy modern life?
Well, while traditionally renunciation was often emphasized, especially by Shankara, many modern proponents, and indeed the core principles themselves, suggest its most potent application today is integration into daily life.
How so?
It doesn't necessarily demand a change in your external circumstances, your job, your family. It demands a radical transformation of your internal attitude and perception within those circumstances.
Changing how you relate to things.
Exactly. That's where its modern relevance truly shines.
So for someone listening right now, maybe they're a busy parent, a professional juggling lots of things. How can they integrate this wisdom? What are some key practices they could start with?
Okay, there are several key practices that translate beautifully. First, cultivating witnessing awareness. Sakshipapa.
Sakshipapa, the witness.
Yes. This involves consciously maintaining a detached observer within yourself, watching your thoughts, your emotions, external events unfold without immediately judging or identifying. Just noticing. It creates an inner sanctuary of peace. It allows for thoughtful, centered responses instead of knee-jerk reactions. The more you identify with this witness consciousness, the less you're tossed around by desires and aversions. It's realizing, okay, anger is arising, but I am the space in which it's arising. I am not the anger itself.
That creates some distance.
Huge distance. Second, applying viveka and viraga in modernity.
Discrimination and dispassion.
Right.
Yeah.
Our modern world, with its constant barrage of consumerism, social media, distractions, it's actually a perfect training ground for viveka.
Wow.
You learn to constantly discern what has lasting value here. Inner peace, genuine connection, learning, versus what's ephemeral, possessions, fleeting pleasures, online validation. Okay. This clear-eyed discrimination naturally fosters viraja, dispassion. Not a cold indifference, but a reduction in that feverish desire for things that don't ultimately satisfy. It leads to a more contented, purpose-driven life.
Makes sense. And the third?
Third, action as inquiry. This is really powerful for daily life.
How does that work?
Every daily action, washing dishes, writing an email, dealing with traffic, playing with your kids, can be transformed. Instead of just focusing on doing the action, the Jnani turns attention inward to the presumed doer who is doing this. Is there a separate, independent me controlling this?
Applying the self-inquiry during action.
Exactly. This inquiry reveals there's no static, independent actor. Actions simply happen through the body-mind instrument, while the true self remains the uninvolved, peaceful witness.
So it takes the pressure off.
It dissolves the stressful burden of personal doership. I have to make this happen perfectly, and the anxiety about results that comes with it. Action becomes lighter, more spontaneous.
So what does this all mean for someone embarking on this journey in their everyday life? How do these pieces fit together?
Well, if we consider the larger picture, Jnana Yoga isn't about achieving one single static state and then you're done. It's a lifelong journey of deepening awareness.
Constantly unfolding.
Yes. Learning to live from ever-expanding clarity, freedom, and joy. And for the modern individual, as we touched on, a synthesis of the four yogic paths, often proves most effective.
Bring them all together.
Yeah, using karma yoga to act selflessly in the world, bhakti yoga to channel emotions constructively,
Yeah.
raja yoga to discipline and focus the mind, and jnana yoga to inquire into the ultimate truth of your being. By integrating these principles, you learn to see the divine, unchanging reality not as something distant or esoteric,
Right.
but as the very substance of your everyday life, manifesting in every single moment, in every interaction.
Wow. We've taken a remarkable deep dive today. From the ancient roots of jnana, that salvific knowledge, and its liberating goal of moksha, freedom from suffering, through the nuanced understanding of Maya and avidya, the cosmic illusion and individual ignorance.
Right. How that appearance of separation happens.
And that radical medi method, not this, not this.
The path of negation.
We explored the rigorous preparation, the sadhana chatushtaya, those 4 pillars,
Viveka, vairagya, shatsampa, mukshutva.
and the transformative 3-step process. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana, hearing, reflecting, meditating.
Yeah.
Culminating in direct self-realization.
Yes, that journey from intellectual knowing to being.
Yeah.
And we heard the wisdom of figures like Shankaracharya laying the foundation.
Right.
Ramana Maharshi with his direct self-inquiry.
Yeah.
And Nisargadatta Maharaj pushing us even beyond the I am, witnessing how this profound knowledge evolved to become perhaps more accessible, more direct.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we saw how Jnana Yoga offers not just a spiritual path, but really a deep psychology for navigating modern life, fostering self-awareness, existential relief, and integrating that wisdom right into your daily actions.
Which leads to this final provocative thought to consider. If suffering truly arises from a mistaken identity,
From avidya, yes.
and if your true nature is already limitless peace and freedom, always present, what if the entire spiritual quest isn't really about gaining something new, achieving some future state?
Right.
What if it's simply about uncovering what you inherently already are?
Removing the obstacles to seeing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if the struggle, the seeking, is simply us believing the illusion of limitation, believing we're separate and lacking?
That really brings up a critical question, doesn't it? What stands out to you, listening right now, about that idea?
Yeah.
We'd encourage you maybe just to reflect gently on your own I thought as you go about your day. Who is this I that's observing your thoughts, your emotions, your actions?
Who is the witness?
Is it the limited self you usually identify with? Or could it be something more? Something vaster, quieter, already free? This is the core inquiry of Jnana Yoga, and it can begin anytime, anywhere, right now.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep deep diving.